Okay, so my analysis learning by Mia Arachiga. Okay, so what do you know now that you didn't know before you took this class? So something I learned was how some kids have to sit out on field trips because field trips are something that can be accommodated for them. So they aren't allowed to participate in the field trips. So they just like sit down and watch or read a book about something else or like about the field trip they would have gone on, which is very heartbreaking to hear because as a kid you'd see all your other classmates going on the field trip and you're not doing anything. So something that I didn't know, also didn't know before taking this class was how it was just interesting, like how some people didn't know or have any knowledge about some of these topics, which it was interesting to know because, especially now in this generation, I feel like there's a lot of social media, so I feel like we can see more representation in some of these topics, and it's such a diverse world where you can learn something new almost every day. But I also can't say anything because I also didn't know like people weren't allowed to participate in some of the field trips because of like groceries and stuff like that. So I kind of understand it now, but at the same time, like I don't know, I feel like you can branch out and just look for stuff to watch and learn new stuff. So what can you do now that you couldn't do before you took this class? I'm able to understand other people's perspectives and hear them out before overreacting, which is something dumb to do. Like I didn't want to hear what someone else had to say if it didn't like match what I had to say. I just didn't see the point of hearing someone else's perspective. This class has made me understand how other people see different things. Made me a little bit more patient and like more understanding. Like for the socioeconomic issues, not everyone has been through some money problems, so not everyone can like understand where someone's coming from. So when the case study place to study came up, the teacher was wondering whether her family could benefit from donations, and some people were saying that the teacher shouldn't do anything, and she just should leave the family alone because she doesn't know what they're going through, which I can understand. She might think she might be helping, but at the same time she isn't. But as a kid who wants something like this, I think it can get annoying at times to like have like oh like do you need this, do you need that? But at the same time like I do need that, and I understand that you wanna help, and it's just like good to know that your teacher wants to help you out. Like it just makes me like oh like she actually cares about me, you know? What could you teach others to know or do that you couldn't teach them to know or do before you took this class? Something I could teach others is how to use inclusive language when discussing race. Also, how racial inequality still exists to this day, and explain how racism affects opportunities in jobs, schools, and housing, and how we can treat everyone fairly. Also, how like sexism works and how it affects people. How the racism thing. I think it applies to everything like sexuality, like and gender, like the whole trans thing. Like people, trans people don't get healthcare. I think it just got banned in the UK. So, what are your most significant challenges going forward related to becoming an effective, culturally responsive educator? Everyone comes from different backgrounds, and just trying to connect with my future students to make them feel comfortable enough to talk to me about what they're going through, and just being able to help them out in any way that I can. Something to do. So what must you do to overcome these challenges? It's definitely a two-person job, so having the kid trust me, so I also have to put effort in. So I have to build the trust, and I actually have to actively listen to what my students are saying, so that they know that they can trust me as an adult. Just remembering to be honest with myself about my biases and assumptions in the areas where I need to grow. Reflecting on my own thoughts and actions, making sure I'm treating everyone fairly and respectfully. What are you committed to doing to further your knowledge, disposition, and skills related to multicultural diversity and social justice issues? Definitely reading more books to learn about about each topic, and some training programs to deepen my knowledge. I really do want to learn different languages. I want to learn. I actually like the thought of having different, like for the door, you have like different languages on there. I think that's really good for kids to feel comfortable in my classroom, and like learning sign language too. I think is really cool to help my students out, and just remembering to reflect on my own biases to ensure that I am being open, advocating for equity no matter the consequence, and just standing up for what's wrong could really help. And that's it.